Welcome to our deep dive into legal tech,
Okay.
specifically how Donald Trump's return to the White House could impact this rapidly growing sector.
Right.
We've got some articles from Business Insider, Legal IT Insider, and some expert commentary, all curated by attorney Mitch Jackson.
Great.
So this is kind of like your cheat sheet to understanding the potential opportunities
Yeah.
and challenges that this political shift could bring to the legal tech landscape.
It's an interesting time to be involved in legal tech, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's start by looking at the potential impact of deregulation.
Okay.
One expectation is that a Trump administration might take a less restrictive approach to legal tech and AI. This could be particularly interesting in areas like autonomous vehicles and cryptocurrency,
Right.
which saw significant regulatory hurdles during the previous administration.
And Business Insider suggests that this could lead to a surge in innovation and growth.
For sure.
Companies are likely to be excited about the prospect of fewer regulations,
Yeah.
which could translate to faster product development, increased profits, and more investment in the sector.
However, as with any major shift, there are potential downsides to consider.
Right?
Less regulation could lead to a lack of adequate safeguards, potentially putting consumers at risk.
Right.
There's also the issue of navigating potential conflicts with stricter regulations in other regions,
Yeah.
particularly the EU, which has taken a much more cautious approach
Right.
with the introduction of the EU AI Act.
Okay.
This could create complications for U.S. legal tech firms trying to operate in the European market.
That's a really good point.
Yeah,
This potential regulatory divergence between the U.S. and the EU is a theme we'll come back to later.
definitely.
Now let's turn our attention to another hot-button issue,
Okay.
immigration.
Oh, yeah.
It's no secret that the Trump administration favored tighter immigration policies, and this could have a significant ripple effect on the legal tech sector.
Absolutely. Legal IT Insider highlights the challenges of talent acquisition in a sector heavily reliant on specialized professionals in fields like AI and data science.
Right.
Restrictive immigration policies could make it even harder to recruit the talent needed to drive innovation.
Yeah.
This could lead to what's known as a brain drain,
Oh, yeah.
where top talent from around the world might choose to work in countries with more welcoming immigration policies.
And that could be a major blow to the U.S. legal tech sector, which is already facing a skill shortage.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Beyond the immediate impact on recruitment, there are broader implications to consider.
Okay.
A lack of diversity in tech teams can have serious consequences for the development of AI systems.
Sure.
If the people building these systems don't represent a diverse range of perspectives and experiences,
Right.
we run the risk of creating biased AI systems that perpetuate existing inequalities. This can limit the industry's ability to serve diverse populations effectively and have far-reaching social implications.
It's a reminder that the legal tech sector is not immune to the broader social and political currents shaping our world.
Sure.
Speaking of political currents,
Yeah.
let's move on to another potential impact of a Trump presidency,
Okay.
trade wars.
Interesting.
The possibility of tariffs on imports, particularly from China, could disrupt global supply chains, and that's likely to have implications for the legal tech sector.
Makes sense.
Companies may need to quickly adapt by amending contracts and adjusting to new realities.
Right.
And this is where legal tech solutions could come into play.
Okay.
Legal IT Insider specifically mentions automated contract amendment tools, which could save companies significant time and money.
Yeah.
These tools can help streamline the process of repapering,
Okay.
which essentially means revising existing contracts to reflect changes in regulations or trade agreements.
Right.
Experts estimate that these tools could potentially save companies 40 to 80% on the costs associated with amending their contracts. AI-powered solutions could also play a crucial role in expediting the review and updating of large volumes of contracts.
I see.
This could be a significant advantage for companies facing the uncertainty and disruption of trade wars.
So while trade wars present challenges,
Yes.
they could also create opportunities for the legal tech sector to provide solutions that help companies navigate these complex situations.
For sure.
Exactly.
Now let's zoom out a bit and consider the regulatory landscape.
Okay.
One of the key issues facing the legal tech sector is the potential for regulatory divergence between the U.S. and the UKU.
Right.
We touched upon this earlier when discussing AI regulation, but it's worth exploring in more detail.
I agree.
The U.S. is expected to take a lighter touch approach to regulation,
Yeah.
favoring innovation and market-driven solutions. In contrast, the UK and EU are likely to maintain stricter standards, particularly when it comes to data privacy and the ethical use of AI. This difference in approach could create significant hurdles for legal tech firms operating across multiple jurisdictions.
For sure.
For example, U.S.-based companies might find it challenging to access European markets if their products don't comply with EU regulations.
Right.
They might even need to create separate product versions to comply with different standards,
Yeah,
which could increase costs and complexity.
absolutely.
This divergence could also stifle transatlantic collaboration and fragment the global AI governance landscape.
Mm-hmm.
While some argue that this could spur innovation within the UK and EU as companies adapt to those stricter regulations.
Uh-huh.
There's also a risk of reduced cooperation and knowledge sharing between these key markets.
Definitely.
So far, we've explored some of the potential macroeconomic shifts that could impact the legal tech sector.
Right.
Now let's zoom in and consider what this all means for the legal profession itself.
Yeah.
How can lawyers adapt and thrive in this rapidly changing environment?
It's clear that lawyers, like everyone working in legal tech, are operating in an increasingly complex and unpredictable environment.
Right.
Law firms and legal tech companies must be vigilant and adaptable to navigate a rapidly shifting landscape where regulatory and political changes can quickly reshape challenges and opportunities.
This is a point that comes up repeatedly in Mitch Jackson's expert commentary.
Yeah.
He emphasizes that lawyers need to develop a deep understanding of global events, from international trade disputes to political instability to effectively serve their clients.
Absolutely.
It's not enough to just be a good lawyer anymore.
No.
We need to be aware of the broader context in which we're operating.
This dynamic landscape demands that legal professionals develop a deep understanding of global events, ranging from international trade disputes to political instability in order to effectively serve their clients.
Right.
While there are certainly growth opportunities, the coming years are likely to be marked by unpredictability in both law and tech.
Clients are facing challenges that transcend traditional legal boundaries, and they need lawyers who can provide holistic advice.
Right.
That takes into account the interplay of law, technology, and global events.
In this rapidly changing environment, the ability to adapt and learn will be crucial.
Absolutely.
Those who embrace lifelong learning, cultivate a growth mindset, and are willing to step outside their comfort zones will be best positioned to thrive.
This means being proactive in seeking out new knowledge and skills,
Yes.
staying abreast of industry trends, and being open to experimenting with new tools and approaches.
So as we conclude this deep dive, we leave you with this thought-provoking question. In this era of unprecedented change and uncertainty, how will you leverage legal tech to your advantage and shape the future of law?
We encourage you to connect with Mitch Jackson on LinkedIn for further insights into the future of law and technology.
His expertise in this field is invaluable.
Absolutely.
And can help you navigate this complex and evolving landscape.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into legal tech in the Trump era.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you found it informative and thought-provoking.
Me too.
Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and stay ahead of the curve.